Jack Savage, Rich Eichhorst, Tom Richards, and the tips control to Bird. To Reed in center court, they set up in that 2-3 zone, it looks like. And they're not putting anybody on Bird in particular. Bird, a jump shot, it's in! Larry Bird cans one from about 22 or 23 feet at the baseline. Now Indiana State will be man-to-man. Bird is on forward. Lob to Wilson, out of bounds. Indiana State a turnover.
Brad Miley fronting Ford did an excellent job of causing that turnover.
So Indiana State with a 2-0 lead. 19.5 minutes left to play in the first half. They set up in that zone defense. Bird in the middle of it right now. Nix on the left side. Carl back to Reed. Looks for Bird, on to Carl. Carl up the lane, lost the ball, but Reed recovers. They batted it right back to Carl again. Indiana State not moving a whole lot right yet. Another long one by Bird, blocked nicely by Richard Ford, and he picked it away. So he blocked Bird's shot cleanly, picked it away, gives it to Abrams, works on Nix. Back it goes to Richard Ford. Right side to Barry Smith. Smith now heads to the baseline, spins around Gilbert, double team now, crosses over to Ford. Ford up the lane, lays it up, good, and a foul. It's on Ford for a charge. So Ford got the fine bucket, and in the process put a charge into Larry Bird.
Yes, Larry got good position in there. Richard Ford went up for the shot. The contact came after the shot, therefore the 2 points does count.
So it's tied at 2 with 18:48. Richard Ford with the bucket. Reed looks for Bird. Into Bird. Under to Miley. He's there. He's got it. Larry Bird, an assist to Brad Miley, and it's 4-2 Indiana State. Back it goes to Richard Ford on the left corner to Barry Smith. Lob down low. Shot blocked nicely by Bird, and it's thrown out to Gary Wilson. There's a jump shot from 12 that's around and out, not good. They fight for the rebound. Wilson comes out with it. Gets it back out to the other side now. Ford from 20. He missed it. Miley's got this one.
Bob, one interesting note. So far, the Sycamores have handled the ball 3 times, and Larry Bird has been in the play each time, so they are going to him.
Bird off the rim. Not good. Got his own rebound. Puts it up. They missed it. Oh, that's tough. Here they come, the Salukis now down the court. Falling down is the guard, Huggins, who does a great job handling the ball, or rather I should say Abrams. There's Smith firing, and in and out, not good. Wilson up and in. Doing a good job of that offensive board.
Yes, Gary Wilson was not blocked off the board. The ball came over the front. He was there and put it back in.
Tied at 4, 17:35 left in the first half. Nix fires from 25, and it's not good, and a pushing foul is called on Brad Miley. Miley has fouled. That's the first one on Miley and the first one on the team. We're feeding the game back to KOBE Radio in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Of course, they're vitally interested in the outcome of this game. If they win there, they will take on the winner of this game. Abrams drives, lays it in beautifully. Fine penetration by Abrams.
Carl Nix playing to the side of Wade Abrams, waiting for some help, but the help didn't show.
So the Sycamores trailing by 2 now. Bird to Reed. From the top of the circle to Carl. Right, left side of the lane. Shoots it in from about 13 feet. Carl cans his first field goal. And that ties it at 6 with 17 left in the first half. Abrams across the timeline, guarded by Nix. Now they double team. Carl almost stole away. Bird hawking. Throws to Ford in the corner. On the drive, a jump shot is up. Not good, and we'll have a whistle and a foul. On Steve Reed, I think.
Yes, Steve has been covering Milt Huggins, of course, the offensive big gun for the Salukis, and he's been doing a good job. I think that was the first time that Huggins was able to get the ball.
Huggins, of course, is the leading scorer on the team. It's a common foul. That's the first team, a second team foul, the first personal on Steve Reed, side court. Barry Smith will put it on play. Barry Smith, Milt Huggins, Wayne Abrams, Gary Wilson, and Richard Ford for the Salukis. Backcourt with it. Abrams working on Nix. Now throws it back to Ford from 20, and he missed it, and Bird has the rebound, and he saves it nicely, and it looked like Wilson got into Larry, but there was no foul called. This is a telecast and simulcast, WTHI AM and FM, and Channel 10, of course. Will fly with 25, that's short, and the rebound controlled by Abrams. Up court, he comes quickly. It's almost knocked out of his hands from behind by Nix, but Abrams recovers it. Throws to Barry Smith. Bounce off to Ford. Back to Abrams. Lob down low. Wilson is there, spinning, shooting, and scoring from about 7 feet. And Wilson has his 4th point and an 8-6 Southern lead with 16 minutes left to play in the first half. They're going to be tough, and they're playing
yes,
tough.
Wilson showed us during the last game that if he gets that ball in the low post, he knows what to do with it.
Carl Nix in from 17 from the side. That's 4 for Carl, and that's an 8-8 game with 15:45 left to play in the first half. The winners move on, and the losers drop out tonight here in Terre Haute and in Las Cruces. Jump shot, Huggins not there. Into the hands of Barry Smith. Gets it back to Abrams. We're doing a good job on the offensive board. A long one by Abrams. He just sticks it right down through. That's 4 for Abrams. 10-8. Southern Illinois shooting. Oh, okay, yeah. Here's Nick starting to shoot again. Doesn't do it. Throws it off to Bird on the left wing. Baseline. Barry Smith's on him right now in that zone. They try to work to Larry in the middle. Lobbed it down to Gilbert. Stolen away by Wilson. That's a turnover, and that's the second for the Sycamores. Southern's turned it over only one time, and it's 10-8. The Salukis lead it with 14:58 left to play in the first half. Ford down low to Wilson. He's there. Blocked by Gilbert, and a goaltending. That's 6 for Gary Wilson.
Yes, again, Gary was able to get that ball inside, and we keep saying he's pretty strong.
They throw the high lob to Wilson.
Yes, he's going up for just a little layup, but Alex Gilbert came in, got awfully high, and was called for
timeout's been called. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is the voice of the Sycamores. Indiana State, 4 of 8 for 50% from the field. SIU, 6 of 11 for 54%.
Well, they've gotten those 3 extra shots over Indiana State by hitting that offensive board, and 2 of those they have converted into baskets. So Indiana State's going to have to pick up rebounding at the defensive end of the court.
In the rebounding department, unofficially, Southern Illinois 6 and Indiana State 3. Now, Bobby Heaton has replaced Steve Reed. Nix to Bird, back to Carl. Up the lane, penetrates, lays it up and in on a great move on a penetration by Nix, and he really can do that one, Kenny.
Yeah, I tell you, he has really been working hard in this ball game. He's penetrated twice now for goals, one a little jump shot, but he's really controlling his body going in.
Now, Bobby Heaton's guarding Wayne Abrams. Milt Huggins guarded by Nix, and we have a whistle and a holding foul on Brad Miley. That will be 2 on Miley and 3 on the team. Miley's trying, of course, to do the job right now, I believe, on Gary Wilson, is he not?
Yes, and he's finding that that's a pretty tough assignment.
Gary Wilson, a 6'6 senior from Columbus, Georgia, and a very fine basketball player. He leads the team in rebounds with an 8-9 average and block shots with 19. In the corner, they work the ball. Abrams shoots and hits.
Gary Wilson is the second leading rebounder in SIU history. Only Joe C. Merriweather, whom many fans will remember, has more rebounds.
That's 14-10 as Abrams has picked up his 6th point. Bird at the left side, back to Heaton again. Bobby to Carl. Carl looks for Larry, throws to Larry. Jump shot from 27, and it's around and not there. Bird almost stole it away, but it's recovered by Richard Ford. Up to Abrams behind the back dribble. Great move. Over to Smith from 16. Missed it, and Alex Gilbert comes up with that one. 14-10 Southern with 13:45 left to play in the first half. Leroy Staley will come into the Indiana State lineup. Over to Bobby Heaton. To Bird on the left side, back to Heaton. Carl up the lane, drops it to Heaton from 20, and Bobby hits it. Pretty tough to come off that bench and pop it right in there.
Yes, the Sycamores did that well, though. They isolated Bob over there, got the ball to him, and when he has a chance to take a little time, he's a very deadly shooter from outside.
14-12, Indiana State down by 2. Down low, and a charge. No, it's a block on Miley, his 3rd.
Yes.
Wow, Indiana State with Miley with 3 fouls, and we're going to have Staley in the game for Miley.
Yes, Brad came across the lane to help out. He came over a little bit aggressive, I guess, and the official thought that he was still moving as he
didn't quite get set,
caused
apparently.
the contact, right.
Alex Gilbert is out, and Rich Nimchek is in. So we have Nimchek, Bird, Heaton, and Staley and Nix in the lineup. Lobbed in to Wilson in the corner. Abrams picked up by Bird, throws to Smith, right side to Huggins. He's tough. He has it. About 16 or 17 away. That's his first bucket.
Yes, Indiana State was in their zone defense, out-of-bounds defense, and Southern just moved the ball on the perimeter and took a shot. They do hit well out there.
Nimchek is playing a forward position. Now in the Bird, under to Nimchek, and Rich could hang on to it. Larry fired that pretty quickly and had a lot of pace on it. Might have been a little hard to handle that time. 12:50 with Indiana State down by 4, 16-12. Abrams, Smith at the circle. Left side, lob from Ford. Huggins, he's open, lays it in. That's 4 for Huggins now, and it's 18-12. Southern by 6. 12.5 left to play in the first half. Bird to Nix. Carl on the dribble. Shoots from 20. He can't get it. The whistle and a foul is on Nimchek.
Well, Nimchek was going to the offensive board. He was going in there to try to get a hand on it, but he came in with his body and was called for the foul.
That is the 6th 15 foul against Indiana State. So they're about to put Southern in the 1-and-1, which is what Bill Hodges said they didn't want to do, is put these guys on the line. In the corner to Barry Smith. Around Staley, lays it up, good, and it's a foul, and it'll count. And the foul was on Smith, apparently, for a charge.
Yes, Barry Smith came around there. Bobby Heaton saw him coming along the baseline on that drive, and he couldn't block the shot, but he sure made certain that he got good position. You can see him move in there, and he was really floored.
That makes it 20-12. Indiana State is down by 8 with 12:09 left in the half.
Southern shooting awfully well right now.
Back to Reed, to Heaton. Into Bird. From the corner, Larry fires and hits it. That's only Larry's second bucket in the 5 shots. 20-14. Southern down, or up by 6. Barry Smith to Gary Wilson, to Wayne Abrams in center court. Open is Huggins, a long one. He cans it. They're not missing anything. That's 6 now for Huggins.
Steve Reed just gave him a split second, and Huggins got that ball away so quickly.
11 out of 17.
Yes, just outstanding shooting.
Bird spinning, shooting from 10, and scoring his 6th.
We really
22-16.
Yes, we really haven't seen that from Southern Illinois either. In the first game, they only shot 42%.
11 of 17 from the field, and you think, how long could they do it? And there goes Huggins again, and scoring again. All of a sudden, Huggins has 8, Abrams 6, Wilson 6. They're just killing Indiana State with the field goals. 24-16, Southern. Heaton to Bird. Back to Heaton again. Larry tapped that pass back to Bob. Knew he couldn't get control of it. They had good coverage on Larry. Bird at the top of the circle. Back to Reed again, the center court. Reed stops, bounces to Bird. A long one by Larry, 25-footer is not there, and Bobby Heaton fights for the rebound, and it's saved nicely by Southern, and he traveled with it. That's Wayne Abrams. He picked up his foot, trying to regain his balance.
Yes, he was so close to the sideline that he thought he might be stepping on the line, and in trying to avoid it, he took a couple of little tippy steps.
Timeout with Indiana State down by 8. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is the voice of the Sycamore.
Did you know that coal generates 94% of the electricity used in Kentucky? 64% in Illinois. 97.
4 o'clock Saturday on Channel 10. Illinois and Indiana. Southern is hitting 12 out of 18, 75%, and Indiana State 8 out of 14, 57%. So the Sycamore's hitting great, but how do you beat 75% shooting?
Well, you don't right now, but perhaps Sycamores will pick up here.
Steve Reed did it, too.
He sure did.
About from the top of the circle, Reed put in 2. 24-18, Indiana State down by 6 with 10:25. Bounce to the left side. Lob down low. Abrams is there, puts it in. Boy, they're just really playing great basketball.
Well, Indiana State is not playing a lax defense. In fact, they're playing a very aggressive defense, trying to front these players, and the passes are going over them.
Carl under to Gilbert, puts it on the floor, can't get it. Now he puts it up and in. Good pass from Carl to Alex, and then Alex dropped the ball on the floor, picked it up, and hunted for it, and got it, and put it in.
That's tough to do. He really stayed with it until he got his hands on it, and then put it in.
Abrams putting on quite a show. Throws the pass to Richard Ford in the corner, comes back out to Abrams again. on the right side. Now Smith is open and lost the ball, but gets it back, loses it again. Alex fights for it, comes up with it, and Carl dives on him. We got a jump ball. Carl didn't need to do that because Alex had it, but he wasn't sure who was in there.
Well, tonight they know the stakes, so everybody is going after that ball with abandon.
26-20. Alex put it in after dropping the ball on the floor that last time. Now Reed is out. Heaton is in. Brad Miley is in foul trouble already with 3 personals with 9:39 left to play in the half. Tapped back, and Carl almost stole the ball away. Barry Smith from 12, and he puts it through. Everybody's hot.
My goodness.
13 out of 19 from the field for Southern Illinois. 28-20. Bobby Heaton to Bird in the left wing. Back to Heaton. On to Nix around the perimeter. They're not getting much luck getting through. There's a long one by Larry, and it's not there. Bobby Heaton fights for it and comes up with it. Lost it. Now Alex Gilbert picks it up. To Bird. Under. Puts it up. Got it. 8 for Larry.
Yes, that Southern Illinois zone is doing the 2 things it's designed to do. It's making the Sycamores move the ball around. They can't get inside very easily with it. And the second is it's giving them a good rebounding position.
Huggins spinning. Hook pass to Abrams. Double teamed. Clears it back to Huggins again. In the middle to Wilson. Hooked over Bird. Missed that one, and Bird has it and lost it. The foul is called on Southern. It's on Richard Ford, and that's his second.
Well, Larry,
the 13th foul.
Yes, Larry went up strong for that ball. Richard Ford came in from the weak side. He was going to try to get a piece of it, and he got a piece of Larry, so the foul was called.
In the Atlantic Coast Conference tournament this afternoon, Wake Forest lost to Duke by 2, 58-56, after Duke had a 14-point lead. North Carolina State beat Virginia 82-78. The Metro 7 tournament, Virginia Tech 80, Cincinnati 74. Bird in the left side. Larry back to Bobby Heaton. Indiana State down by 6. Here's Nix at the top of the circle. Whips a pass to Bird. Under to Staley. He's there. He missed it. Puts it up. No good. Tipped up again. Bird, not Gilbert. And it's out of bounds to Southern. Sycamores just couldn't get it to go.
I'll say, now they were really on the offensive board then. They got 3 taps at that ball and were really after it, but it didn't go in.
Bird threw it to Staley, and Leroy couldn't get a goal. He put it up once. Bird tapped it up once and again, but they just couldn't get it to go in. Now they can go up by 8 again. Here's Barry Smith. Milt Huggins. Around, Bobby Heaton spinning. Pin footer, missed it. And Leroy Staley has it. It's one of the few shots they've missed.
That's right. Good defensive rebounding by the Indiana State also.
Sycamores could cut it to 4 here. Bobby Heaton back to Carl Nix from the top of the circle. And it's not there. Bird fights for it. Knocked out by Larry Bird. It'll go over to Southern Illinois. Sycamores are not getting any shots down in close.
No, they aren't.
We have a timeout right now with 7:42 left in the half. Indiana State down by 6, 28-22. This is the voice of the Sycamores.
When they got married, they came in to buy paint for the new home. They wanted the best. I told them they could save time and money with MAB Wall Shield. Goes on easily, saving time, and it hides hard-to-cover spots. Saves money because it lasts for years.
28-22. Southern Illinois, 7:35 left to play in the first half. Abrams almost lost the ball. Now it's a give and go, and stolen by Nix, picked up by Heaton, and a breakaway to Gilbert. And it's in front of him. He can't hang on to it. It goes out of bounds. A turnover. That's the 4th for the Sycamores. Southern's turned it over 3 times.
Well, Alex hit a little slippery spot there. I don't know that he could have recovered balance anyway, but the steal was made, and of course the long pass to Alex, he just couldn't quite run it down, stepped out of bounds.
Wilson shot over Bird, missed it. Bird had the rebound and gets it, and a foul is called, and it'll be on Barry Smith. That's 2 on Barry Smith, and that is the 4th team foul against Southern Illinois. 5 on Indiana State.
I think we could look for Southern Illinois to become a little tired. Those are the 5 starters. In the last couple of games, they have not substituted very much at all. And as the game goes on, this might be a factor. You might see him hang on a little more.
Carl Nix dribbling the ball right-handed, comes up court with it. Works it to the right side to Leroy Staley. Back to Carl, on to Heaton. Carl starts to fire. Now penetrates, stops, throws in the corner to Leroy, and his pass to Bird is intercepted by Wilson. They've clogged the passing lanes up.
Right, they were trying to get the ball into Larry, but the good defensive play inside.
Abrams to Ford. Left side of the circle to Smith. Cross courts it to Abrams. Now he puts up a long one and missed it. Leroy Stanley's in good position to rebound. So both teams now have cooled off a bit. Sycamores cannot take advantage of it right now. Bounce to Heaton. To Bird. Under to Gilbert. He's there and he's fouled. He missed the shot, but he's fouled. Larry with a tap pass. Foul was on Richard Ford. That's 3 on Ford.
Yes, Richard Ford came from the weak side, and I think he was trying to make sure that he did not let the ball go in the basket by Alice Gilbert, so he whacked him across the arm.
This is the first time either team has been to the foul line tonight. It comes with 6:24 left to play, and Ford is sitting down in favor of Charles Moore, 6'7" senior from Corpus Christi. Alex missed his first free throw. In the first 2 games, Bird has averaged 25.5, Miley 5.5, Gilbert 17.5. Hits his second free throw. That makes it 28-23, a 5-point Southern lead.
Charlie Moore got 12 rebounds against Indiana State here in January.
Nix has averaged 16, Reed 3, Heaton 10, and Staley 1. Whistle, foul, it's on Carl Nix, I believe. That's Carl's first, team 6th. For Southern, in the 2 games, Barry Smith averaged 8, Charlie Moore 4, Wilson 13, Huggins 19.5, Abrams 17, Grant 3, Ford 7, and Stubblefield 2. 28-23. Southern Illinois leads it, 6:12 in the half. In the corner to Wilson. Back to Smith. Over to Huggins. He's open. He fires. He hits.
Bob, that's 2 times now on out-of-bounds plays that they've been able to get the ball in. When Indiana State goes to the zone, they've taken it around the horn and hit the 20-footer.
30-23, a 7-point lead for the Salukis. Bird working and almost stolen away by Moore. Pass to Nix. His shot is blocked and almost stolen. They're really playing great defense, and then it's Bobby Heaton losing the ball out of bounds.
Yes, they're playing, the Salukis are playing relaxed, putting a lot of pressure on, and Sycamores are a little tense with the ball.
Timeout's been called with 5:45 left in the half. Indiana State trailing by 7. That's the biggest margin for Southern in the game. I'd like to mention the fact that the Bill Hodges Show will be seen Sunday at 12:30 on Channel 10, and we'll have highlights from the games that we've played this week. The Sunday game, of course, with Wichita State, the West Texas game Tuesday night, this game with Southern, and of course we'll have the highlights of the final game if there is a final game for the Sycamores. Right now it doesn't look favorable to them. They're down by 7, but a long way to go.
Yes, a long way to go, and of course about this time of the game Tuesday night, Indiana State was down a little bit and made a good move right before the halftime period. So we have 5:45 left, and we may see the same thing.
The 3 ninth grade classes at Chauncey Rose, composed of approximately 90 students, completed 75,931 Pizza Hut ballots with some help from other students at Chauncey. Each of the ballots had a vote for Larry Bird, and it's the highest total for any school in the area. That's Chauncey Rose, the 9th grade, the 3 ninth grade classes, 75,931. That's a lot of votes.
Well, it certainly is.
Southern trying to go up by 9 with 5:43 left in the half. Nix, Gilbert, Bird, Heaton, and Reed now in. Huggins lobs in the corner to Moore. There's the ball underneath, and a foul on Bird as he fouled Abrams, and that on Larry is his first, and that's the 7th team foul. However, Huggins, or rather Abrams, will go to the line with 2 shots. He was fouled in the act.
Well, Southern Illinois has been very effective getting the ball over the defense. They're posting people, and then we're playing in front of them, and they're throwing the ball over, and we're not able to help out on the weak side.
Abrams with his 9th point. He and Huggins will have a total of 20 if Abrams hits his 2nd free throw. Abrams leads the team in assists with 136 and steals with 42, and has his 10 points. 20 of the 32 points scored for the guards, Milt Huggins and Wayne Abrams, and it's a 9-point Southern lead, 32-23, with 5:25 left in the half. Next to Bird. Larry works, penetrates the left side of the lane, shoots and scores. Hung on the rim, and he got his 10th point. 32-25. Bird with double figures now. Back to 7-point Saluki lead. Smith the high post. Breaking to the man to Abrams, who shoots and misses a real close one on a jump ball between Abrams and Bird. That's the closest shot I think Abrams has had outside of a layup he had once.
Yes.
So a jump ball. Abrams 6'6" against Bird 6'9". Tap to Bobby Heaton. Foul on Gary Wilson. That's his first, and that's the team's 6th. So Indiana State will go into the bonus on the next foul committed by Southern. Southern is already in the bonus. 32-25, Southern. Heaton for a long one from the corner, and Bobby missed it. Bird's got it and puts it in.
I'll tell you, when Bobby Heaton was open on the outside, Larry Bird went right for the goal, knowing that Bob was going to hit or shoot, and he got the rebound.
Here's Smith. Throwing to Wilson, double team, and hits it. Ooh, boy, that's 8 for Wilson. He's doing a job, isn't he?
Yes, he
34-27, 4.5 left in the half. Reed brings it up to set it up. Heaton in the corner, that same spot, doesn't fire it this time. Gives it to Stevie Reed, and back to Heaton again, and Bob may try it. No, works it to Reed, around the horn to Carl Nix. Reed looks in the middle for Heaton. Now they throw to Nix, a jump shot from 18, and it's right through for Carl's 8th point, and it's 34-29. Indiana State back to within 5 with 4 minutes left to play in the first half. Abrams working on Nix in the corner to Barry Smith. Cross courts it to Huggins. Huggins now, and a block on Steve Reed. That's his second. He'll send Huggins to the line with a 1-and-1. Huggins, an 89% free throw shooter.
Well, Steve Reed using his body as he was sliding along with Milt Huggins. He didn't reach in. He was called for just staying close with him and checking him with his body.
Huggins, 73 out of 82 from the free throw line. 3:51 left to play in the half, 34-29. Huggins at the line. That's his first one.
Yeah, Bob, you mentioned the Salukis are a guard-oriented team, and by golly, what we've seen here tonight, they handle the ball, they shoot the ball, they go inside, they pass it well. Tough pair.
And his second free throw, it's in. That's 12 for Huggins. Abrams, his running mate, has 10. They have 22 of the 36 Saluki points, 36-29. 3:49 left to play. First half. Reed to Heaton. Back to Reed. On to Carl Nix. Top of the circle on to Reed. Around the perimeter to Bobby Heaton. They're clogging up the middle.
Yes.
Heaton from 27 has it. Bobby Heaton with his 4th point. They're shooting long ones in now and hope to get the rebound.
Well, Southern, I think, is backing off a little. They'd prefer not letting that ball get inside to Larry Bird.
Now they switch, and Nix picks up. There's Wilson shooting over Bird and hitting. That's 10 for Wilson. They're on it again.
Yes, Wilson getting good position in that low post, and once he gets it, it's murder.
Southern Illinois is 17 out of 28. Bobby, another long one, and got it again. About a 25-footer, 38-33. Huggins forcing a shot up, not good. Rebound to Bird. Gets it to Reed. Reed up quickly. Tries to break. Nix from 22. Has it! 10 for Carl. And timeout Southern with the score. Indiana State trailing Southern 38-35. This is the Voigt. No, we'll hold it right here, I guess. We hold it right here, then, right? Just started to make a break, but Paul says no break.
Well, I tell you, that last 30 seconds was really exciting. Sycamore's picking up 2 quick field goals, getting back in this ballgame.
We'd like to take a moment to pass this along to you, the purchaser of the autographed basketball tournament.
And that's good because I think all the fans in this area are ready to follow, of course, both North and South. We like our area teams to do well.
Those 2 youngsters played in a church league. Now Wilson's open. Got it. Gary Wilson got wide open and had an easy turnaround jumper, about a 3-footer, just banked it in off the glass, and that was too good of a shot for him. 40-35, 5-pointer again. Bobby Heaton back to Reed. Steve to Heaton from 20. Got it again, and that's 8 for Bobby Heaton.
Yes, Steve Reed and Bobby Heaton and Larry Bird are forming a triangle on the right side of the court, and that's 3 times in a row they've moved the ball and got Bobby the shot.
40-37. Wilson working on Bird and scoring again for his 14th point. Southern Illinois just having a phenomenal first half shooting.
Well, Gary Wilson is a good scorer of 14 points a game, but he is really having a phenomenal time here this evening.
And Bird's right on top of it. Carl from 22. He missed it. Wilson has it. They have the 5-point lead, 42-37. Could put it up to 7 here. In the corner, a long one by Charlie Moore. It's not good, and Bird takes it down. That was probably a poor shot, and I imagine Joe Godfrey didn't like that. In fact, he's sending in the game, number 41, right away.
Yeah, they've only taken a couple of bad shots so far this half.
Carl Nix at the top of the circle, up the lane, hands it to Bird. He's there, and he's got it.
A great little bit of inside passing, a penetration and a pass from Carl Nix to Larry. Great play.
Jump shot in the air. It is not good, and Bird's got another rebound, and that was another bad shot. Up to Nix. They got a 2-on-1. Call to Alex Gilbert. He's there, and he missed it. Goaltending. Indiana State's within 1 point, 42-41. Wayne Abrams back in the game. He had been out for Larry Stubblefield, and the Sycamores have fought back to within 1.
That was a heady little play by Carl Nix and Alex Gilbert as they took that ball down the floor. Look at that pass to Larry Bird that was made a little earlier.
42-41, Southern by 1 with 47 seconds left to play in the first half. Huggins working on Reed. Back out it goes to Wilson, handed to Smith in center court. Indiana State playing tough defense right now. Smith looking for Huggins. Comes back to Moore and on to Abrams. Abrams at the perimeter. Works around Carl Nix, still on the dribble. Gets it to Wilson. Now they're trying to run the clock down and get the last shot. Take a 3-point lead to the dressing room.
Leroy Staley now guarding Wilson.
Jump shot by Huggins. It's in.
Yeah.
14 for Huggins. 13 seconds, so the Sycamores would like to cut it to 1 here. See if they can do it with 5 seconds to Bird from 15, and Larry missed it, but he's fouled by Gary Wilson. And that's his second. Larry will go to the free throw line with a pair.
Gary Wilson may have pulled kind of a boo-boo there. Larry got that ball and was fading backwards, and he probably did not have a good percentage shot, but Gary went into him and was called for the foul.
So Larry Bird, an 84% free throw shooter on the line with 14 points, will try to get his 15th and 16th, and has his 15th. That cuts it to 2. This could cut it to 1 again. Here's Larry's second free throw. It is up and around and out, not good. They clear it up with 2 seconds. They throw it the length of the floor, and it hit one of the supports. So the halftime score is Southern Illinois 44, Indiana State 42. Back after this 90-second timeout, this is the voice of the Sycamores.
It was a
5.
Yes.
And we're ready for the second half in this very fine basketball game, and the winner will go on to the championship game. If Southern Illinois wins, they have to play on the road no matter who wins the New Mexico State-Wichita State game. The tap's over to Larry Bird. It's 44-42. Indiana State has trailed the entire game, except for the very early moments. Southern took an early lead. They've never relinquished it. Nix to Reed. Back to Bird in the left wing. They're still working with that zone very effectively. Bird under to Gilbert. Dropped the ball, puts it up and in there.
Yes, Larry Bird gets in the high post. Now they're sending 2 men up, and he's looking down underneath for Alex.
Alex dropped the ball, but picked it back up. It's tied at 44 with 19 and a half. Ford, Barry Smith, the right wing, spinning in the lane, shooting. It's going to be short. Bird has his 10th rebound. Now the Sycamores could take the lead for the first time in a long time since the very early moments of the game. Nix up the lane, lost the ball, and the foul is on. Let's see, Gary Wilson maybe.
Wayne Abrams.
Wayne Abrams, you're right, Wayne Abrams, and that will be his first. That's the first foul on either one of the guards. So with 19:11 left to play in the game, Indiana State and Southern are tied at 44. Backcourt pass to Reed. He'll set it up now around the zone. Carl Round his man, Ford, baseline all the way, puts it up and in.
Yes, another excellent penetration by Carl Nix, moving along the left baseline, laid it in.
For the first time for the opening moments of the game, the Sycamores lead by 2. Ford from 15, missed it, rebound to Reed. Up court to Bird, he puts it up, oh, he traveled with it.
Well,
Traveled.
that may have been one of the best passes that I've seen all year, Steve
How did he
Reed.
pass that ball?
He just took it like a baseball and bounced it with just enough spin, about half the court. A beautiful pass.
And Bird, I didn't look like he traveled to me, but I don't know. I'm way up here.
Yeah, it'll always be that way in the book,
right.
won't it?
Here's Ford at the top of the circle. Indiana State up by 2. Lob down low. And Abrams travels. That was an obvious traveling violation there.
Well, we've got a little
And I don't say that because he's a Southern player.
Right. We have a little defensive change. Brad Miley is now on Gary Wilson, and he's fronting him. Brad's got 3 fouls, but he'll do a job, try to keep him from getting the ball in the low post.
Here's Reed setting it up to Carl Nix. To the left side of the lane, throws it to Gilbert. He's there, and he scored. No, he missed it. It came back out, but he's got his own rebound. Back to Reed from 18 feet. His shot is not there. Miley up once, not good, and Barry Smith comes down with it. They feed it out to Abrams, and he charged into Nix. What an obvious charge.
Yes, Wayne Abrams just lowered his shoulder and barreled right over Carl Nix, the official, right on the play, and called it.
Very obvious charge.
Yes.
There was no doubt about that one.
Carl just assumes position here, and Abrams just drives to his right.
And I don't understand that.
No,
I just can't understand why he'd do that.
No, and he's a good basketball player and reacts just extremely well, but he just simply had a lapse there and got called.
Abrams has committed his 2nd foul, and that's the 2nd team foul against Southern. Carl Nix to Reed. 46-44 Sycamores. Under to Gilbert, he's there, and he's got it! Boy, what a pass from Nix!
Yes.
That's 9 for Gilbert, 48-44, Indiana State by 4 now. Abrams almost lost the basketball. Takes it to the top of the circle as Nix had fallen down. Off to Richard Ford. Ford cross court to Abrams. Carl Nix on top of him to Barry Smith. They're fronting Wilson now. Here's Smith back out to Ford. On to Smith again. Lobs down low to Wilson. His shot is up and in. That's 16 for Gary Wilson. 48-46, Indiana State by 2 with 17-19 left to play in the game. Steve Reed, high post to Bird. Starts to throw, throws to Carl. He's open from 17. He missed it. Gilbert has it, puts it up, and missed it. Richard Ford comes down and collects it. Wayne Abrams takes a pick, doesn't use it. Ford at the top of the circle, penetrates, lays it up, and what a fine layup for Richard Ford.
Yes, he drove right. Larry didn't seem to be in good defensive position. He drove right around him and laid the ball up.
Tied at 48 again with 16:42 left in the game. Bird to the right wing, back to Reed, the top of the circle. On to Carl Nix. Goes to Reed. To Bird at the left wing. Larry, a long one. Has it. That's 17 for Bird.
With Carl and Larry and, of course, Bob Heaton when he's in there, and with Miley and Gilbert underneath, I tell you, when they can't shoot outside, they can lay it down, dump it off underneath.
Ford throws it under. Oh, great pass from Ford to Abrams for his easy bucket for his 16th point. Rather make it his 12th. I gave his points to Huggins. Huggins has 14. Abrams now has 12. Tied at 50 with 16:01 left in the game. Bird a high post. Lost the ball and a foul is called on Wayne Abrams, and that's his 3rd. All in this half. And that's the 3rd team foul.
Yes, at that rate, that could really be trouble for the Salukis. They can't afford to lose Wayne Abrams.
Timeout's been called. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is the voice of the Sycamores. Both teams keeping up their torrent pace. SIU 3 out of 6. Indiana State 4 out of 8.
Yes, Indiana State's margin in the first 2 games came from the free throw line. 20 for 24 in the first game here, 15 for 21 there. And we've only been to the line 4 times tonight, so it's a different kind of a ball game altogether.
And only 2 turnovers the first half for Southern and only 6 for Indiana State.
Yes, and I don't think any of those were really sloppy ones. They were steals or something of that nature.
Reed, Bird, back to Reed again to Nix, top of the circle. Carl now the left wing to Larry's, come to the other side. Over to Reed. They hunt for Bird. Back to Reed. Uses a pick from Larry. Can't do anything with it. Now it's in. Deflected away and intercepted by Ford. As Reed tried to get the ball to Bird, and again, they're clogging up those passing lanes.
Yes, Wayne Abrams got those long arms up and deflected that pass.
Abrams back to Ford. Ford needs help. Throws a pass to the left side. There goes Huggins working on Reed, but Reed recovers. Ford on the right wing to Smith. Starts to shoot. Now a jump shot. And missed, but Ford has it, puts it up and in. And a foul is on Ford for a charge, and that was a good call.
Yes, Barry Smith took the shot and missed it. Richard Ford with good position got the rebound, but then he used his shoulder and just pushed in as he was going up. The official right on the play. Joe Gottfried doesn't like that call very much. He was up talking with the officials, but it'll stand.
So Indiana State tied at 50 with 15:10 left in the game, has the basketball. Bird and Reed and Nix working around. They look for Bird again. Carl on the dribble, off the dribble, throws to Gilbert. He's there, and a foul is called on Gary Wilson, and that will be his third. And now Southern is getting in foul trouble. That's 3 on Wilson, 3 on Abrams, and 4 on Ford.
Yes, they're going to have to be, with Wilson with 3, a little more careful inside. And I think we can look for the Sycamores to be going inside a little bit more.
Well, Nix got the ball down low at the baseline to Alex. He had a little one there, and then Wilson went up and made a good block, but got him with his body. And
Sure
Alex
did.
will have 2 free throws and try to get to double figures. He's got 9 points. His free throw, missed it. Missed it by that time. Oh, Alex. Charlie Moore is coming in to replace Richard Ford.
Well, he's been making 1 out of about 2 in the last game or so maybe this one will go in.
It's his second one, and it's
Not
not in. And the rebound is into the hands of Moore. So Southern Illinois could regain the lead here if they score in this possession. Bounced and almost lost. Huggins in backcourt with it. Leroy Staley will come in. Whistle and a foul on Steve Reed. That is Reed's 3rd foul, and that's the team's first. Now, Southern Illinois has committed 5 team fouls this second half. Alex Gilbert is out in favor of Leroy Staley. Bobby Heaton is out in favor of Steve Reed.
Well, Steve got called for that. Seldom when he's playing defense does he get called for a foul where he uses his hands. Again, he was playing awfully tight with the man to Huggins with the ball and got called for the body.
Abrams in the corner to Huggins. Hook pass to Moore, spinning, shooting over Bird, missing it, and Miley has the rebound. So it's still tied at 50, and both teams have had a cold spell now for a long time. Staley looks for Bird. Goes to the corner, comes back out to Nix. That zone is still effective against Indiana State. Larry working on Smith. A jump shot from 21 is down in for 19 for Larry Bird. 52-50 Indiana State. 14:15 left. Abrams taking Nix all the way to the baseline. Throws it back out to Charlie Moore. Cross court to Huggins. Huggins drives, loses the ball, and has it loose it out of bounds to Indiana State. Now one calls Indiana State, one calls Southern. Let's see who wins it.
Yeah, I think they'll probably jump ball at the free throw line.
Nope, the other official is going to overrule him, and it'll be Indiana State's ball, and Joe Gottfried again doesn't like the call on that. They battled for it, went out of bounds. Apparently touched last by Huggins.
Yeah, it was an example of the 2 officials not in agreement as to what happened.
Right side to Leroy, pumps up a 22-footer and missed it. Now they look down court for the fast break. Abrams on the dribble, stays with it though. Shoots from 23 and missed, and a rebound to Cole Nix. They have a breakaway. There he goes, slam dunk.
Well, I tell you, Carl Nix got his feet underneath him on that one, and he really skied and dropped that ball right through. He drilled it.
Boy, he's strong, isn't he?
I'll say.
And quick. It's now a 4-point Indiana State lead, the biggest lead they've had. Huggins shooting and missing, and Bird with the rebound. Clears it up to Cole. Here he goes again, and there's another dunk.
Okay.
Timeout Southern. Indiana State up by 6. Back in 60 seconds. This is the voice of the Sycamores. Indiana State shooting 7 out of 12, 58%. SIU 3 out of 10, 30%. Sycamores missed their only 2 free throws this half.
Well, this last few minutes has reminded me, I think Indiana State has a characteristic that those great UCLA teams had, to go along and be close in the ball game and all of a sudden get excited, get a spurt, and roll off 6, 7, 8 points, and they've done that here. Now, that doesn't mean they're out of the woods by far, but they've done this time and time again during the season.
Right, they trailed by 9 points in the first half.
Yeah.
Now they lead by 6. That's the biggest lead they've enjoyed the entire game because they were trailing almost the entire half, except for the early moments. Now Indiana State sets up in his own defense. Barry Smith, right side to Abrams. Looks for Wilson. Left side to Smith from 19. Hits it. Barry Smith gets his 6th point. They've been held to 8 points in this second half with 12:50. So for the first 7 minutes, a little better than 7, they only allowed 4 field goals. Bobby Heaton in the left corner. It's Indiana State by 4, 56-52. Under to Miley, and Carl overhead pass threw the ball away.
Yeah, the defense split, and Brad was open underneath, but couldn't quite get the ball to him. Throw it over his head a little.
So Southern will go to work. Huggins, Indiana State back to a man. Smith to the top of the circle. Drops a pass to Charlie Moore. Left side deep to Huggins. He comes to the middle. Off the dribble. Charlie Moore. Right side to Barry Smith from 19 and in, and that's 8 for Barry Smith, and now it's 56-54.
2 in a row outside for Barry Smith. He was only 2 for 5 the first half.
8 points for Smith. Indiana State by 2 now. They led by 6. Staley to Carl Nix. On to Bob Heaton. Comes back out. They're still on that zone. It's been effective. Left side to Leroy Staley. Throws it back to Carl from 21, and Carl hits it. And that's 18 for Nix. 19 for Bird, and it's 58-54 Indiana State with 11:48 left. Abrams heads to the baseline, stops short to the left wing. Hands it to Smith. He's hot. This time he doesn't shoot, but Abrams will from 21. It's short. Miley has the rebound. Saves it out to Staley as he was falling out of bounds with it. 11 and a half.
Carl Nix with his great defensive effort down there. He is doing a job on Wayne Abrams. Abrams is all over the place, but Carl is causing him a lot of trouble this time.
Right. In fact, Abrams has been held to a field goal this half. Huggins to nothing. Huggins has not scored, and Wilson to a field goal. Carl up the lane, lobs it off to Staley from 17, started to fire, changed his mind as he was covered defensively. Now they work it around again. Bobby Heaton has been hot. He'll shoot a long one, and it's not there, but Bird's got it. Larry puts it up and in.
Well, Larry again with Bobby Heaton shooting, gets good position on that offensive board, gets the rebound, and goes up, sticks it in.
And Gary Wilson apparently is injured.
Shaken up.
Bobby Heaton took a long shot, bounced around. Bird had it, lost momentarily, then hooked it up, laid it in as Wilson went to the floor, but is apparently all right. He's limping down the left side cross court now, but I think he's okay. That makes it 60-54 Indiana State by 6 with 10:55 left in the game.
Gary Wilson, a fine basketball player. Not only has he been doing a good job offensively shooting, but he is tough on the board.
Now Wilson apparently is going out of the game.
Yeah, he is limping. I hope we see him again. I hope he's not hurt too badly.
Dan Kiesikowski, 6'7" senior, Michigan City, Indiana. Kiesikowski shoots 44% from the field and 44% from the line, averaging only 1 point a game. This, of course, will have an effect on Southern. They will not be as effective without Wilson in there. Kiesikowski to Huggins. Huggins now cross court to Moore in the corner to Abrams. Back again to Huggins. Kiesikowski shot and not good. Bird has another rebound. Clears it up to Carl Nix. There he goes. And he puts it up. No good. He lost his balance that time. Carl's on the floor and he's hurt. And we have a timeout. Carl is on the floor and has not moved.
Yes, my goodness. Carl went in.
Now he's getting up. Boy, he got up in a hurry. I think maybe he wanted to rest.
Well, it looks that way. The official, of
Carl
course,
went down.
Yeah. The official has no choice here. Look at the Carl go up, and he was just tripped a little bit off balance there. Was not able to get a good shot at the basket. He hits hard. You can see right on his back, and failed to get up. The official saw that and then called a quick timeout because they're concerned about the health and welfare of the players.
So Carl Nix is sitting down. Brad Miley is in, along with Steve Reed, Bobby Heaton, Leroy Staley, and Larry Bird. So
I think
Reed
Wayne
is in
Abrams
for
was
Nix.
intent on not letting him stuff another one.
Right. Wayne Abrams, 6'6", quick. Long one by Barry Smith is in again, and that's 3 straight for Smith. Top of the circle. 60-56, Indiana State by 4, with exactly 10 minutes left in the game. Staley, around his man, bounces a pass to Miley, back to Leroy, over to Reed in center court. Steve on the move, looks for Bird, bounces to Leroy, back to Steve again. Indiana State not really in a stall. They're just trying to take. Now Leroy from the foul line cans it.
Right. I think, Bob, they're just making sure they're going to get the good shot. They're working and know what they want. One after.
62-56. Indiana State with a 6-point lead. 9:27 left. Huggins works the lane over Reed, shooting, missing. Deep rebound to Miley. Foul is called on Gary Wilson, who's back in the game, and he has just committed his fourth foul.
Didn't take him long to get that fourth one.
Wilson had come back in during that injury timeout. And now Stubblefield has come in for attendance 10,279. That's almost what Burl Miller told us before the game. Wilson, I think he said 10,274, I believe. Bounced in the corner to Heaton, to Bird, under to Miley, and he missed it. Miley tipped it in. Miley missed his layup and then tipped it in for an 8-point Indiana State lead with 9:03 left in the game. Wrong shot, and it's right through for Milt Huggins. That's his first points of the half, 16 now. Wilson, Huggins, and Abrams have all been held to 1 field goal this half, and we've played over 11 minutes. Bobby Heaton in the right corner. To Reed, to Nix. Steve Reed again in the corner. Feeds it to Bird. Little turnaround shot, and it's around. No, it would have gone in. Offensive
I believe it would
goaltending.
have. I think Carl Nix got up on the ring inside the cylinder, and the official right on it called offensive goaltending, and it's a violation.
Well, Larry was going to have it, I think. They got it down to him in the baseline. Bobby, a good feed. Larry just turned around and put it up easily.
Going to bounce around and go in.
Bounces around a bit, and Carl tapped it, and it looked like it was going to fall in. Now, there's a lob pass, and a whistle, and a foul is on. Number 41, Abrams, and that's his fourth. Now, Abrams has committed 4 fouls, Wilson 4, and Ford 4, and they're in deep trouble.
Yes, Wilson, rather Abrams, trying to post inside, was caught for using his elbow, and Coach Gottfried wants to talk with him a little bit. He called him over to the side.
So Wilson has committed 4 fouls. Abrams all this half. His 4 fouls all in this half. 64-58. Indiana State with a 6-point lead. Bobby Heaton with a 1-1. Has 8 points. Indiana State's in the bonus now. That's 9 for Heaton. Bob will go to double figures if he hits this one.
Well, Bob is a good free throw shooter, has a high percentage.
Coming up for his 10th point. Has it. 66-58. Indiana State an 8-point lead with 8:25 left in the game. A very fast game. ISU has committed only 1 foul this half. Abrams' little jump shot. Short. Bird had it, knocked out of his hands and out of bounds to Indiana State. Al Grant touched it last, is in the game.
Yes, when that shot went up by the Salukis, you could see Indiana State getting a triangle around there. They're really rebounding defensively.
Timeout's been called. We'll pause for another 60-second break. This is the voice of the Sixth Board. 4 from the line. The Salukis a nut shot from the foul line this half. Reed, Nix, Bird, Heaton, and Miley. They work around that zone defense. Larry Stubblefield is in there. Long one by Bobby. Yeah, that's 12 for Heaton. He's been sensational.
Yes, a few more of those might just bring them out of that zone defense.
Now a 10-point lead for Indiana State. Barry Smith throws the ball away. Southern looking a little bit shook up now, plus the fact they don't have two of their starters in. But here comes one back in Ford, and here comes Wilson. They've got to go with them now.
They have to now. You bet.
You can't wait now.
There's nothing after this game for them if they lose, so they might as well use the power they have.
7:50 left in the game. Indiana State by 10. Reed. Pass to Bob Heaton. On to Reed and to Carl Nix. Carl to Reed and to Heaton. Lobs to Bird. He's there. Throws it under to Miley, but he got it. Larry had a great shot, but Miley was closer.
Yes.
That's 6 for Brad. Another assist for Larry.
Yes, he's made the same little play. I think that's the third time in this ball game.
Now a 12-point Indiana State lead. And a whistle and a foul on Brad Miley. That's 4 on Brad. However,
well, Bob, he has played nearly 13 minutes of this half with 3 fouls on Gary Wilson and has fronted him and really worked hard. I think he just played a whale of a defensive ball game.
Sure has. So Alex Gilbert has replaced Brad Miley. Indiana State with 21 points from Bird, 18 for Nix, 12 for Heaton. Bounced into Ford, lays it up, missed it. Bird the rebound. Indiana State leads by 12, could go up by 14. Here's Steve Reed. Bounces to Heaton. And shoots from 26. Missed that one. Foul on Larry Bird. No, traveling is called on Richard Ford.
Well, just about the time that whistle blew, Larry did reach back. It looked like he got a little contact.
Look
but
at Joe Gottfried. Joe Gottfried is really livid. He is really upset. Now Nix will put it in play. Backcourt foul to Steve Reed. Indiana State leads by 12. Carl throws to Gilbert. Turnaround jump, not good. Barry Smith gets the rebound. Clears to Abrams, on to Huggins. Lays it up, and good, and a foul. And a foul is on Reed, the basketball count.
Yep, Steve couldn't do much with it. Huggins comes down there, changed direction really on his last step. And Steve could do nothing but reach in to take a part of it.
So it's a bucket for Huggins, his 18th point, has a chance for a 3-point play. Huggins is 2 out of 2 from the line, and now 3 out of 3 and 19 points. That's right at his average, 18-9. 70-61, so the 12-point lead is down to 9 with 6:38. Heaton in the corner, bounce to Bird, spinning, laying it up, and missing it. Tipped up once by Gilbert, this time cleared to Ford. To Huggins, down the right side, steadies his dribble, heads for the baseline, takes Reed with him, now he comes back out and works it back to Ford again. In the corner, off the dribble, in the middle to Huggins, moving up, missing his layup, and a whistle and a foul is called. It's on Alex Gilbert. That's one on Alex. That is now the 4th team foul against Indiana State.
Huggins made a nice cut to the basket.
Yes, he did.
And they saw him, spotted him, got it to him underneath, but he missed the layup.
Ford got a nice pass to Huggins. He broke through, got around Reed, and timeout's been called. And we'll pause for 60. This is the voice of the Sycamore. Indiana State, 13 out of 25. Field goal percentage of 52. Southern 8 out of 21, 38. Indiana State 2 out of 4 from the line. Southern 1 out of 1.
Well, I think that lowered shooting percentage of Southern Illinois is a result of just a really great second half defensive performance by Indiana State. They are really active in their defense this half.
Now Barry Smith will put it in play. His team down by 9, gets it back out. Finally, now it's back to Smith again. He's been hot. Jump shot from 15. Missed that one, but Gary Wilson has it, and his shot is not good, and he's fouled out.
He's done.
Gary Wilson will have to leave on that one. He fouled Bird, and that's 5 on Wilson.
Well, Larry Bird really took that to him, and he kind of caused Gary Wilson to have to foul. He was in there, got jumped twice, and got up quick the second time. Gary got him on the arm.
Al Brandt, 6'9" junior from Cedartown, Georgia, will be into the lineup. Dan Kieskowski, who was in the game as a senior, they lose him. They also lose Wendell Cooper, who doesn't play much. The only starters they're losing are Gary Wilson and Milt Huggins. Larry's free throw is good for his 22nd point.
I think Larry just pulled off. Does he have 15 rebounds over there?
I think so.
Yeah, that's, of course, right at his season average. There's 6 minutes left.
And his second free throw is good. 23 points for Bird. With 6 minutes left in the game, 72-61. Huggins to Smith in the left side of the lane, in the left corner to Huggins. Are Abrams, and Abrams scores. That's Wayne's 14th point. They've got a real great guard duo. Huggins, Abrams. They both are out front in that 2-3 zone. Bobby Heaton back to Reed at 72-63, Indiana State with 5:35 left. Over the head pass to Nix, left side to Heaton. Carl from 24, not good, but Bird's got it and puts it in. Actually, it was a bad shot, but it hit the glass right into Bird's hand for his
Carl
25th point.
Threw that like a shot. It came right off the board.
There's a layup that's good for Huggins.
Huggins cuts back beautifully behind his defensive man. His defensive man turned his head to watch the ball, and he hit the baseline very well.
74-65, back to a 9-point game with 5:05 left. Reed to Heaton. Looks for Bird, got it to him. Larry back to Bobby from 20. It's a little short. Barry Smith comes down with it. Now they can cut it to 7 here. Abrams on the move. Back to Huggins. To the circle. Barry Smith from 21. Around and out. Grant has it. Up, not good. Up again, not good. Bird fights for it. Finally got it. And he's got a man up court, but he couldn't find him. Steve Reed. Larry was trying to get the ball out of traffic. That's his 16th rebound, I believe. 17.
Yes.
17 rebounds for Larry Bird. He's 11 out of 20. 3 out of 4 from the line. So Reed trying to set it up with his team up by 9. In the middle to Heaton.
Well, they're staying in the zone.
Heaton's a rover in this offense now.
Yeah, they're
Larry usually is a rover, but right now this wears that man out. They're giving Larry a little rest, and they're letting Bobby Heaton be the rover.
Right.
In this,
yes, we saw a change of defense. Coach was up, and they're now man-to-man, going to try to pressure a little bit. They had to do that.
Now they're man-to-man, and Bobby Heaton with it, guarded by Barry Smith to Bird. Hooks it back and throws the ball away. Tried to get Brad Miley with a pass, but couldn't get his arm around far enough to work it into Miley. Timeout, Southern. WTHI TV would like for you to know that we've really enjoyed bringing you the televised ISU games this year. And we'd like to thank the fans and the sponsors that have made all of this possible, and that their support enabled us to carry some games otherwise thought impossible. And I'm sure you remember the New Mexico State game from Las Cruces, which of course was one of the most memorable basketball games you could ever witness, and we were happy to bring that to you. It appears because of broadcast or telecast contract rights belonging to others, WTHI TV will not be able to televise the games after tonight. This means that we will not be able to bring them to you. If we could, we sure would, but we can't. We're not allowed to. But WTHI Radio, AM and FM, can and will follow the Sycamores right through, we hope, the national championships in Salt Lake City. We sure hope they get that far, and we'll just have to wait and see. But, of course, we'll bring you every game right through to the end of the season. Indiana and Illinois, 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon on Channel 10. .349 left in the game, 74-65. Indiana State by 9. If they win this one, they'll be 28-0.
And Bob, is it right? Only 6 more would do it.
That's exactly right. After tonight, 6 more wins. Just 6 more.
Just 6?
Just 6.
Well, if you can get 28, you can get 6.
Ooh, I never thought I'd see another team go undefeated, even during a regular season.
Absolutely. This is just fantastic.
There's a whistle and a foul away from the ball. It's on Bob Heaton. That's his first. That's 5 team fouls against the Sycamores. Leroy Staley, Carl Nix, Brad Miley, Larry Bird, Bob Heaton. Very fast game tonight. In the corner to Al Grant. Probably because there have not been a lot of fouls. Right.
And turnovers, not many.
Barry Smith, left side of the lane, jump shot over Staley, blocked by Leroy, but he fouled him. That's one on Leroy, and Barry Smith goes to the line, shooting 84% from the foul line, has 10 points tonight.
Leroy's timing on that attempted block was very, very good. You can see he gets up just at the same time that the shooter goes up, but he got Barry Smith on the arm.
What a job defensively they've done on Southern this second half. They've scored 21 points. Barry Smith misses his first free throw. Indiana State has scored 32. Outscored them 32-21. Second free throw is in. That's 11 for Barry Smith. With 3 minutes and 27 seconds left to play, Indiana State has the basketball and the lead. Bounce to the right side to Bird. Tries to come center court, over the head lob pass over Miley's head into the hands of Richard Ford. Another turnover by the Sycamores. That's only the 11th for the game. Southern's turned it over only 8 times. Now Southern working around Indiana State's defense. Al Grant spinning jump shot, not good. Loose ball recovered by Al Grant. Back center court with it to Ford, to Barry Smith. Traveling on Smith.
Yes, he made a little, he was going to drive right and made a little fake to his left and took a slight step with his left foot.
74-66, Indiana State leading by 8 with less than 3 to go now. Carl Nix and Bobby Heaton. Bob Heaton's played a great game tonight.
Oh my, his shooting from the corner really helped break the game open.
And his defense too.
Yes.
They hand it to Nix, Bird does. Carl comes back to center court and bounces across court to Miley, and a foul is called on Al Grant. That will be Grant's first foul. That will send Bob Heaton to the line, who has 12 points tonight, 2 out of 2 from the free throw line. 2 minutes and 37 seconds left to play. Indiana State leads by 8. And if Indiana State continues to hold this lead, they'll play here Saturday afternoon against either New Mexico State or Wichita State. That game will be starting about 20 minutes from now. Bobby Heaton's first free throw is good. 13 points for Heaton. Second free throw is coming, and it's in and out. Al Grant comes down, gets the basketball up to Abrams. Wayne Abrams to Huggins.
Well,
Travel.
Yes,
Turnover for the Salukis, 8 in this half.
Milt Huggins did the same thing. It's a common error for people who drive to the basket quickly. They just shuffle that one's foot.
75-66, Indiana State benign with 2:22 left in the game. Nix a behind the back dribble from 17 feet and missed it. Deep rebound, fought for. It's going to be picked up by Huggins. One-on-one against Miley. Feeds it to Abrams, and it's blocked by No, it went in.
Yep, Staley did get a hand on it, knocked it against the board, and it caromed right off the board into the basket.
That's Abrams' 16th point, 75-68, a 7-point game with 1:58 left in the game. Bill Hodges wants a timeout, and they can't get their attention. Nix on the left side, Carl's baseline. Now Carl shoots from 7, short, up, once no good for Carl, and he's fouled, and a foul is called on Al Grant.
Well, there was one of those cases. The coach was really trying to get timeout, Bill Hodges, but the team was at the left end of the court. Bill's way down on the right, just couldn't get the message to them, but turned out all right. Carl was fouled in the act.
He took his own rebound.
Well, there's some argument.
It might be that they're calling the foul on Abrams. I don't think so. Grant was the one that fouled. No, they're calling it on Abrams, and that will be his 5th. I thought it was on Grant.
Yes. I think obviously they do too.
Well, it's not on Grant apparently, and if that's the case, now Carl went to the baseline, got away from some traffic, then shot a close shot, went off the rim, came up for his own rebound.
Grant got in there and grabbed him by the left arm. There was no question about it. And it's
foul was on Al Grant.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that Wayne Abrams, he feels so bad about it. He didn't want to leave the game with a minute 46 to go. He didn't foul, and however, that's the way it is.
So Abrams will go out. That will be 5 on Abrams. The Bill Hodges Show, Sunday at 12:30. We'll have the highlights of the 3 games and hopefully a 4th game. Well, if they win this, we'll have the highlights of the 4th game anyway, but hope there are 4 victories that week. 18 points. His average is 19.9, and he could have 20 right here if he sinks the 1 and 1. First free throw. Short. Bird's got it. Clears it out to Carl Nix. And they'll go to that spread out offense now. Miley to Nix to Bobby Heaton with 1:30. To Staley. Timeout. They got it with 1:26 left in the game. Indiana State with a 7-point lead. And we'll just keep it right here. Individually, Barry Smith has 11 points. Charles Moore did not score. Gary Wilson fouled out, has 16. Bill Huggins has 21. And Wayne Abrams fouled out. All 5 fouls in the second half. 16 for Abrams. However, it did look like Grant committed that last foul he was given. And 4 points for Richard Ford. For Indiana State, Bird has 25. He's averaged 25.5 in the 2 games with Southern. Has 25 tonight. Miley's averaged 5.5 against Southern, has 6 tonight. Gilbert has averaged 17.5 against Southern, has 9 tonight. Nix has averaged 16 against Southern, has 18 tonight. Bobby Heaton's averaged 10, has got 13. So it kind of evens itself out, doesn't it?
Surely does. Well, Indiana State on that possession used up about 22 seconds of time and still have the ball. Took another timeout.
We'll be on the air Saturday afternoon at 1:45 with the pregame Bill Hodges Show. And we'll have coverage, the Incredible Crowder. It's the Incredible Hulk, Tommy Crowder. Indiana State, 14 out of 31, 45%, 5 out of 9 from the line. Southern 11 out of 30 so far in this half, 36%, 2 out of 3 from the line. With 1:26 left in this game, the Sycamores will be 28-0 if they win this one. Heaton inbounded to Staley. He's trapped with 2 players, gets it back to Heaton, and he hands to Carl Nix.
Well, we probably will see some fouling and quick.
Staley is fouled by Al Grant. That will be his second.
And I imagine of the players that Indiana State has in that they were going to wait until Leroy got the ball and hit him, although Leroy is a pretty good little free throw shooter.
Yes, right now, Bird shoots 84%. Leroy Staley, a 65% free throw shooter. It's missed by Leroy. Heaton, an 81% shooter. Reed, 67, and Nick, 67. So they got some pretty good free throw shooters. Here's a jump shot by Huggins. That's in for his 23rd point. That makes it 75-70, a 5-point game, and it's still not over yet.
Yeah, we'll see another foul here.
Reed penetrates, throws it back to Bird. They don't want to foul Larry, I don't think, with 54 seconds.
Yeah, Staley's staying down underneath the basket, not handling the ball as much. They'll have to foul a pretty good foul shooter.
And they did, and Milt Huggins is fouled, and Huggins has committed only his first foul. And Carl Nix will be at the line. So Carl, who's been to the line only once tonight and missed that, will be at the line with the 1-and-1 with 45 seconds left. Now, the Sycamores would like to make this one here because if he misses this and they get the rebound and go up, they just cut that to 3 points. And with about 45 seconds left, it's a
right. And then they come down and foul again. You get in that habit, and you can miss quite a few of them here in the last seconds.
Carl's free throw is good.
A big free throw.
19 for Nix. That gives them a 6-point lead, and this could make it a 7-point lead again with 45 seconds.
It would take 4 field goals to win for the Salukis if Carl makes this free throw.
Right. And it's airborne and good. 20 points even for Carl. And that may wrap it up here. 77-70 with 41 seconds. Stubblefield bounces to Huggins. His shot is not good. Carl Nix has the rebound, saves it beautifully to Steve Reed with 30, and that's going to do it. Carl in backcourt with the basketball with 23 seconds. Cross court with Bobby Heaton. The fans will start counting it down with 19. And, ooh, that was a foul, and what a foul. And that was a An
Yeah, that
intentional
was,
foul, and that was a very flagrant foul.
Yeah, that could be called a flagrant foul, which would mean disqualification. I don't know whether they're going to do that. No, they aren't, but he could have fouled him without grabbing him quite like he did.
Carl kept his composure well.
That's right. All he gets to do is step to the free throw line for 2.
Sycamores are 28-0 now. Nix's free throw is up. Good. 21 for Carl. He needed 23 tonight to get exactly a 20-point average. He's going to be 1 point under a 20-point per season average if he makes this one. It's in the air and good.
Got it. Well, he may get at the line again.
Yep. 79-70, 15 seconds left in the game. Stubblefield, a jump shot off the glass and in, and Stubblefield, a freshman, scores with 6 seconds left. Here's Bird in backcourt with 3. Larry throws the ball, and traveling had been called with 1 second. So Southern Illinois will have the basketball out of bounds with 1 second to go.
Yeah,
No, they're giving it to Indiana State.
No, I think they're giving it to Southern.
No,
I think the players were...
players going the other way
right.
as if Indiana State was going to get the ball.
Well, they both teams know it's all over.
Ford shot, not good, and the final score, Indiana State has made it 28 straight. Sycamores 79, Southern Illinois 72. They played a valiant game. They played tough. They were a fine basketball team.
Indiana's Bobby Knight has had 14 consecutive winning seasons, doing it his way. Walt Hazzard was a free spirit player at UCLA, but he's more serious as their head coach. The Hoosiers' Uwe Blab had a 24-point effort in the semis against Tennessee, while the Bruins' Brad Wright comes off a 23-point effort against Louisville. Blab, a first-team All-Big Ten performer, protects the paint for Bobby Knight's Hoosiers, while Brad Wright puts his stamp of projection for Walt Hazzard's UCLA Bruins. It's the Indiana Hoosiers and the UCLA Bruins in the NIT Championship. USA Sports presents the National Invitation Tournament. Tonight's championship game is brought to you in part by Coors Light, so turn it loose tonight. By Toyota's exciting cars and trucks for 1985. Toyota invites you to see them at your local dealer. By Mobil Super Unleaded Gasoline, higher octane for better performance. And by Campbell's Soup. It's nice to know something that tastes so good can also make you feel so good.
Good evening and welcome to Madison Square Garden in New York City, New York, the entertainment capital of the world, where the showcase event this evening is the 48th playing of the NIT. Game doesn't need any build-up, the oldest and probably still one of the most prestigious tournaments in the country to be played. The Indiana Hoosiers, whose legendary coach Bobby Knight have compiled a 19-13 record, go up against the UCLA Bruins with first-year coach Walt Hazzard. The Bruins come in with a 20-13 mark. I'm Jimmy Myers, and along with Howard David and the coach Bill Raftery and Pat Scanlon, we'll be bringing you all the highlights of this game this evening. And without any more further ado, it is time to turn it over to the two gentlemen that will handle the telecast, Mr. Howard David and the coach, Bill Raftery. Gentlemen, it is yours.
Thank you, Jimmy Myers, very much. I'm Howard David along with Bill Raftery. You look at Indiana, you look at UCLA, you get a combination of the Greyhounds against the Junkyard Dogs.
There's no question that Bobby Knight will use the clock tonight to make sure UCLA doesn't get out of the gate and run the basketball. I'm sure they'll try and push the ball up the floor at every opportunity.
At the very top of the show, we matched up two key figures in tonight's game. Uwe Blab of Indiana, Brad Wright of UCLA. Blab on Wednesday night had a very good night against Tennessee.
Well, he led the Big Ten in field goal percentage, and when you get these shots that close, your percentage will go up. Very tough inside, has big height against Tennessee. Tonight he's got a bigger man in Brad Wright, who led that Pac-10 in block shots, so that's the confrontation.
Brad Wright has had the influence of former UCLA great Sidney Wicks.
Well, as you and I both know from talking to the coaches, Sidney has been vociferous. He has chastised Brad Wright. Of course, this is the first year with Stork Ray gone that he's had to patrol that middle all alone.
Here's how the two centers in question played on Wednesday night. As you can see, they both had outstanding nights.
Close, and of course, if anything, Brad Wright may get in foul trouble if Blab challenges him, so you might look for Indiana to do that early.
Somebody's got to bring the ball up the floor for Indiana. It's got to be Steve Alford.
Well, he may bring it up occasionally, but he likes to tee it up frequently. They'll run a lot of bumps. He's got a lot of motion here with great shooting range. He'll attract the defense. They do a lot of pump faking, and of course, that stroke has been honed in the backyard with his daddy watching him.
Speaking of the backcourt for UCLA, and this year he's playing point guard, the Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Year, Nigel Miguel.
Well, he's settled now. He's finally getting the minutes. He knows his position. He's played all over. Now he runs the show. As you mentioned, he's shut a lot of great people out in that Pac-10. He's very comfortable and relaxed at the point position.
Wednesday, when the semifinals took place, we talked about 4 coaches putting it all together. Tonight it's 2, both with gold medals. Knight as a coach and Walt Hazzard as a player in '64.
Well, both of them have had good experiences as players, as well as they've been in the NCAA as well, the championship. But 2 solid people, the defense on the one end, of course, the pushing the ball up the floor on the other.
Now, during the night, we're going to be breaking away to give you updates on other things that are going on around the world of sports. Let's go to our sports bureau and Pat Scanlon.
Thank you very much, Howard David. Hi, everyone. Pat Scanlon here in the Sports Bureau. We'll be bringing you up to date, as we said, of scores in the NBA, NHL, USFL. And one game we have to tell you about, the consolation game here at the NIT. It was Tennessee beating Louisville 100-84. The Volunteers finished the year at 22-15. Louisville at 19-18. Checking scores in the National Basketball Association this evening. It is Washington leading New Jersey 61-53 at the half, and a war in Boston, and the Celtics going away with it at the half over Philadelphia 62-44. In the National Hockey League, one score to report. Edmonton and Hartford are tied 4-4 in the second period. And of course, here at Madison Square Garden in New York City, the 1985 NIT Championship, Indiana and UCLA in the